I can fight my way out of a paper bag. I know. I have just the right kind of determination necessary for such a task. Although it be an unusual challenge. I mean, you never see anyone actually trying it. And yet, people often mention it. They say things like, you couldn't fight your way out of a paper bag if you tried. As though it were easy and everyone does it every day effortlessly. But you don't see people doing it every day. People just don't try that sort of thing. I actually think the hardest bit would be getting into the bag in the first place, finding the right size, shape, texture. What colour would it be? My God, it don't end. How strong do it need to be? Because surely it would break when I'm getting into it, right? Right? God, I am flummoxed. I'm an idiot. Why is it that what seems suggestive as such a simple task could actually be so bloody complex? I'm merely trying to set myself challenges that are actually doable. Do you know what? I think I'll just write about it instead. People might be more impressed that way, inspired even. I might actually be the first person to write about it. Oh no, but wait. Then lots of people might actually attempt this feat and succeed. Oh God, I'm back where I started. I'm flummoxed again. I really am a bloody idiot. Shit. Shit.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Hanging in there. Better than I was. No, I still don't get it really. I have a list of reasons, but I can't quite make it make sense in my brain. No, I haven't. Well, I was thinking about it the other day, and I came to the conclusion that he, he doesn't love me anymore. That's the only thing that makes sense. No, no, I agree he still had feelings for me. I don't think his feelings changed. At least he said they didn't. He said that this had nothing to do with feelings, which I don't really understand because how could you not factor feelings into something like this? Yeah, it is hard for me to believe that because if he really felt the same, he wouldn't have done it. I mean, I wouldn't have done it. I couldn't have. Anyway, no, what I'm trying to say is that something felt different since I got back. He stopped choosing to spend time with me and putting in the effort. He didn't seem to care anymore. It was almost like he stopped trying to show me that he loved me. And I guess, in a way, that love is a choice. Well, I don't think that falling in love is a choice, or that feelings are a choice, but loving someone is a choice, a commitment you make every morning when you wake up, or every night when you go to sleep. You choose to continue to be with that person, even when you think that life might be easier or simpler without them. Or when you get angry or upset. Or when you really want to get a cat, but you can't because you're allergic. And I think he stopped making that choice a while ago. Not like a long time ago, but a bit ago, yeah. I think he was in love with me. But he didn't love me anymore. Or maybe it was the other way round. I don't know, really.
He died on his 18th birthday, May the 19th. Yeah, that's it. Could never remember it while he was alive, but now it's kind of hard to forget. And every year without fail, my mother will post the same picture on Facebook and she'll tell everybody, don't drink and drive. It's pathetic really, but I don't say anything. I just roll my eyes and keep on scrolling, because if I don't, I'll relive the same thing over and over again. That phone call at 2 o'clock in the morning. And the pain in my mother's voice. That drive to my parents' house. It was an accident. Him and one of his friends were driving back from a McDonald's when suddenly some asshole in a Chevy pickup truck ran a red light. Wheeler died on impact. His friend survived. He actually works at the CVS now down the road. He's a cashier. My brother's dead. He's a cashier. But as terrible as that sounds, you have to understand. Wheeler was literally the perfect kid. He never talked back, never snuck out the house. Straight A student, full ride to Harvard. But he was supposed to make a difference. And I think 10 years on, that's what gnaws away at me the most. The fact that he didn't know his life would be over before it even started. The fact that I've OD'd 3 times and I'm still here. The fact that we can't even trade places. I mean, why him? Why not me? For a while now, that's all I can think about. And now I just get high. So, how much do I owe you?
We're going out tonight. Just me and him. We haven't been out in ages. Just the 2 of us. Alone. Together. He said to meet here. I wonder where he'll take me. He said to meet here at 8. Or was it 8:30? No, I'm sure it was 8. He's just late. He's always late though. He likes the stress. Though, I think it's But if he likes it, that's all that matters. He works such long hours at the pub. He says I always distract him when I go in, so I don't anymore. It's so romantic. Me distracting him from his work. I wish he would come home early. Every now and then. "8:30. Wonder what's happened to him. Maybe he's been in an accident. No, I can't think like that. He's just late, like normal. Maybe he's inside. How stupid am I? Yes, he's probably waiting inside for me. I'm so stupid. We'll laugh about this later. Maybe he can't hear me. I can hear him. Hello? Hello, it's me. Let me in. There's someone else in there. It's that girl from work. I knew something was going on. I knew it. Stupid me. I thought you weren't coming.
It's 2:03 a.m. I'm awake. My thoughts crash into the silence like a train, shattering any peace of mind that I had, and angrily screaming in my head like toddlers. I'm lost, wandering through the mess in my brain, looking for a way out. Straining my eyes to get a glimpse of the light that they say is at the end of the tunnel. It hurts. My chest tightens, locking me into the anarchy in my head. I need clarity. I need someone to sift through my mind and remove all the broken glass. The pain is ice cold. I get a drink. Sit with it in my hand. just waiting for it to cool so I have an excuse to make another. My body is heavy, laden with water, as if I jumped into a pool with all my clothes on and sank to the bottom.
They know about Austin. Rose, what do you think Austin fears the most? His brother finding out what he actually is. Actually does. I'm sure you already know about his younger brother, Ray. He's an innocent, honest kid. Wouldn't hurt a fly. Austin told me once that if it weren't for Ray, then he'd have fallen apart a long time ago. Austin had no choice but to hide what he is so that he could stay with his younger brother. If Ray were to find out, then he would leave, and that would be a betrayal to Ray. And to Austin, that is something worse than death. But despite all that, he still went, risking everything to save him from those bastards, the jackals and Kane, the dastardly monster they call a leader. He says that he'll protect his brother, even if it means he loses him as a brother. They don't even seem like they're that close, but they are. Quite the useless pair, aren't they? Something's wrong with me. I'm worried about them. You know? The fact that I won't get to see them smile together again is... It's really painful.
The finer details won't matter when they ask me why I did it. So, I won't bore you with them. To put it plainly, my boss had slugged his last ball to me and the game was finally over. Not a physical one, of course, just purely metaphorical. A ball of the mind, if you would. In my 35 years of life, only 3 people had ever thrown that mind ball to me, and for me to have accepted defeat. You see, you meet people in life whose words and actions, as meaningless as they are, start to chip away at your will and your strength until a reasonable and sane man can't take anymore. That ball's rocketing through the sky, landing straight between your eyebrows, sending the hurt to your head. Rooney, an old mate from middle school, hurled his last shot to me when we were 10 years old. 5 years ago, my wife Angela starts playing the game with me after 6 years of total bliss. That's the one that hurt the most, frankly. I've only recently drawn parallels between my old school friend and my ex-bitch of a wife. They both broke me down, and their bodies were never found. The third big ball toss that broke my most recent cover was my boss, Norman Smith. I thought I'd finally gotten rid of my past mistakes, and I could finally live my life without losing my game. But no. I couldn't just sit there and let men like Norman Smith live their life of sin and filth. Today was the day he said his last grating remark to me. Today was the last day he slapped the women's asses as they strolled past, and today was the last day the earth saw him alive. I met him outside the Chinese restaurant in the southeast of the city. Well, it was more I knew where he was, so I went there to meet him. An old friend of Norman's informed me of his usual outings outside of work when I met him in a bar one Saturday night. Get an old alcoholic drunk, and he'll tell you everything you need to know. A dam of useful wisdom and a cold beer is all it takes to let the barricade burst and let the water rush out. When I had finally acquired everything I needed to know, I left the drunk bastard asleep at the bar and planned to stumble across Norman the night after. I had a few doubts since Norman's old pal was halfway to heaven when he told me about the Chinese restaurant. But lo and behold, there stood Norman having a cigarette in the shadows of the alley. Norman greeted me. I greeted him. Norman asked me what I'm doing there. I tell him I'm passing through to meet some friends in the bar opposite. Norman steps aside to let me pass. I quickly slice his throat and bundle him into a giant dumpster. Whether it was Rooney, my ex, or even a giant pig like Norman, their assassin will never be found. Why would he? I'm just the forgotten face in the playground, the quiet man in the corner of the club, and the boring nerd tapping forever at his computer in the office. I've left that job. I've left that city. I've never seen, never heard, never remembered. I could be the man on the bus sat next to you. Yeah, that one. The one if you don't know if he's looking at you when you look away. The one who's edging just a little too close. I could be the man who gets off at the same stop as you. Because you've thrown your last ball.
I want to talk. I want to talk to you, whatever that really means. I would like to talk to you, but do I? Do I trust you? Do you trust me? Shit. Sorry, I'm not really used to talking. I don't really do this thing called talking. It's kind of like, well, you know, like watching an alien have sex awkwardly. Yeah. Anyway, maybe I should talk to you? Should I? About Margaret. They're pretty emotional, pretty stubborn, and pretty hairy too, actually. It's a bit awkward, the name, Margaret. A wee bit awkward, really. I don't know how to talk about Margaret. Like, how do you bring that up in conversation? Like, how? I mean, it's my body. My fucking body, you know? Scary, isn't it? Having a vagina and naming them Margaret. Did you think I was talking about someone else? Sorry to disappoint, but Margaret is not my elderly neighbour that smells of farts, nor are they my fluffy dog. The thing is, I don't know how to talk about Margaret. Like, who else do you talk to about your vagina? Like, how do you bring that up in conversation? Like, hello everyone, this is Margaret, my vagina. Obviously, it's not like I'm flashing it for the world to see. Unless that's what you want. But honestly, who does that? And was this really my choice? 14 years old and bam, it starts bleeding. I'm there panicking, nearly crying, trying to shove a tampon up there. There's blood everywhere. Grim, scary stuff. As if that was my choice. I know things are different for you, but I remember the first time it happened in some random dirty public toilet in Margate. It was an old tampon too. Dad had given it to me ages ago when we had the talk. Not the sex talk, that came years later. Anyway, to this day, I still can't get a bloody, no pun intended, tampon up there. No sex education class could ever teach me that. Those classes didn't really work for us, did they? Hang on. Is vagina even the right word? I've heard the word vulva sounds smart and maybe even scientific. Oh God. Do I really want to talk to you about this? I thought that if I used a metaphorical meaning, I would talk about it better, right? So, Margaret and I have a real odd relationship. I trim, I shave, I make them look good, but sometimes I just really can't fucking be arsed. You know, this feminism shit. Sometimes at the end of a long day, I just want a quick shower and that's it. People expect so much. Let me tell you something. I nearly died once because of bloody Margaret. Well, not quite them. I hadn't ingrown hair, nasty bugger, got quite infected. I thought I was gonna die. The doctor said I was fine and just being a little dramatic. But you know doctors, they'll tell you anything if you're female. Anything without a penis in the shape of a white man and they don't give a shit. You get it, right? The thing is, I didn't really know what to do with Margaret. Like, what are you supposed to do with your vagina? I mean, there's no real textbook on vaginas because they're all different, right? But what I really want to talk to you about is how emotional my vagina is. Yes, it's a fucking thing. Shit, should I be calling Margaret a vagina or a vulva? Oh, fuck's sake, see, the words are so complicated. Anyway, the point is, Margaret is very emotional. When I am stressed, so is Margaret. When I am hormonal, so is Margaret. When I'm sad, Margaret is fucking depressed. And when I'm horny, Margaret is... Well, you know. Can't win, really. Margaret is complicated. Kind of like being me. Maybe I should throw Margaret a celebratory party. I'm glad I told you about Margaret. Well, some of it anyway. I mean, I could tell you more, but I don't think I'm ready for that just yet. And somehow I don't think you are either.
I need to get these feelings out, or just say them out loud. It might help. Never actually admit this before. Not sure if I'm ready to. I think I first realised I felt this way when me and my friends were watching the Hunger Games, and they were arguing over Peter or Gale while I was quietly crushing on Katniss. No one knows. I've not told anyone about these feelings. I think my friends would probably be okay with it. I'd like to think that they're accepting, but that might just be me being hopeful. There's this one out gay kid at school and he seems okay. I think his name's Harry. We're kind of friends with him. We wave to him in the hallway and we always try and stick up for him when he gets called awful names or pushed over or punched. Yeah, he's not okay. Anyway, I'm worried about my family. I'm actually pretty scared of their reaction. See, they're pretty religious and that's no big deal, but when you add my dad being the Baptist preacher into the mix, everything gets a lot more complicated. He does a lot for the church and leads our community, and there's always attention on all of us. We're expected to stick to the New Testimony teachings, not just in the church, but in our personal lives as well, and the expectations are pretty high. Being the preacher's daughter in this town where everybody knows everybody, I feel like a bug under a microscope. I've heard my fair share of the little comments my parents have made towards people like me. If we're going somewhere and we pass two guys holding hands walking down the street, I can guarantee that one of them will have something to say. I want to tell them to shut up and stop judging people. But instead, I offer a supportive smile to the couple and I bite my tongue because even if I did say something, I don't think they'd listen to me. They've made it clear where they stand on people like me. I think my brothers would come around eventually. They're more progressive than my parents, but that bar is pretty low, almost on the floor low. I've never heard either of them use a slur or make comments like my parents do, and I know that's not great, but it's not bad either. I remember when we were little, they would play dress up with me, or we'd have tea parties in the garden, or we'd build forts in the living room. They're my big brothers, and I love them. And I want to be honest with them and just tell them that I like girls. But I can't tell them now. Not now that everything's just getting back to normal.
Have you ever had a love that's changed you completely? A love that seems to rewrite your character? A love that makes you reevaluate self-perspective? If you haven't, let me enlighten you. It's awful. Like, genuinely awful. Start to care for the well-being. And not just enough to send them a greetings card, no, like, you wake up longing to be by their side. Turn to share a smile. When they're not there, you realise that you're experiencing phantom cuddles, which is a nightmare. Their worries are yours, and you welcome them. You welcome their pain, fear, the sorrow, and you celebrate their achievements as if they're your own. And you do it because you can see yourself inside of them. And for once, those characteristics don't appall you completely. For once, the drawbridge is open, without a moat of crocodiles ready to snap at their ankles. The red carpet's rolled out, and you plunge the cushions on the sofa, because you want them to stay. And you realise that they are not the cause of your change. They haven't forced your battlements, slayed the amphibians, no. Their only crime is existing. That and respecting you, which according to Google is not it just calls for a rest, so, you know. Believe me, I've googled it. It should be though. But who do they think they are? Giving me the power I need in order to function as a slightly competent human being with the emotional maturity of something other than a goldfish. It's annoying because you become besotted and you become the very thing that you hate the most. A human. You are so annoying. Will you stop it? Don't look at me. It's really rude. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, okay. I know I'm rattling on, but my point is... Shit, I wrote it down so that I'd sound smart and competent. Hang on. Hang on. Okay, right. Here we go. In the words of philosopher Russell, to fear love is to fear life. And those that fear life are already 3 parts dead. And I know, I go on about being dead inside. But the thing is, I feel most alive when I'm with you. And so, what I'm trying to say is, yes, I will share that pizza with you.